I'm Tracy. The sound of tearing paper still rings in my ears, a deafening scream that shattered the false peace of my so-called family. I stand in the hospital room, the torn pieces of the power of attorney form clutched in my shaking hands as my sister, Ava, glares at me with venom in her eyes. My family, once seemingly a picture of normalcy, is anything but. My father, Mr. Thompson, is a well-respected businessman in our small town, always concerned about his reputation and social standing. My mother, Mrs. Thompson, is a woman who values appearances above all else, constantly striving to maintain an image of a perfect family. And Ava, my older sister by 2 years, has always been the golden child, the one who could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. I've just earned my master's degree in finance from a prestigious local university. I've worked tirelessly for years, juggling multiple jobs to pay my way through school. I thought my graduation dinner would be a moment of celebration, a chance for my family to finally recognize my achievements. Instead, it turned into a nightmare. We were at the Harborview, the most upscale restaurant in town. My parents were dressed to the nines, as if they were the ones graduating. My father, in his tailored suit, and my mother, in her expensive dress, projected an air of success. Ava, with her fake smile, was recording everything on her phone, making snide comments about my late-in-life graduation, as if my hard work was a joke. The topic of the lakefront property my grandmother left us came up. Grandma had always been wise and discerning. She knew my father had a habit of making impulsive financial decisions, and she didn't trust Ava's motives. So, she named me the sole signatory for any transaction regarding the property, which was worth a fortune. Ava had been pressuring me to sell it to a developer friend of hers for a quick profit, but I wanted to honor Grandma's wishes and keep it in the family. As the dinner went on, Ava became more and more aggressive. She tried to guilt-trip me, saying that our father's business was in trouble and we needed the money. I stood my ground, insisting that I needed time to review the legal documents. Then came the cake. A beautiful, 3-tiered creation rolled out with "Congratulations, Tracy," written in gold. Ava took over, insisting on bringing it to me herself. I had no idea that this seemingly innocent act was a well-planned attack. She approached me, and what felt like a sisterly hug quickly turned into a vice around my neck. In an instant, she slammed my face into the cake with such force that I felt my nose break against the hidden wooden dowel inside. The world went white, then red, as I crashed to the floor. The laughter of my family and the other diners was like a knife in my heart. My mother told me not to make a scene, and my father gruffly told me to stand up and laugh it off. They made me feel like I was the one in the wrong, like it was just a harmless prank. I was in so much pain, but I didn't want to cause more trouble. So, I let them take me home, hoping that a good night's sleep would make it all better. But when I woke up the next morning, my head was throbbing and my vision was blurry. I knew I had to go to the hospital. At the hospital, Dr. Miller, a young and perceptive doctor, saw through my lies about falling. He ran a series of tests and found that I had a skull fracture and that my blood was too thin. He suspected foul play, and he called the police. Detective Reed, a serious and no-nonsense police officer, started to investigate. She asked me about my past injuries, and as I thought back, I realized that many of the so-called accidents had happened when Ava was around. There was the time I slipped on the stairs at home, and Ava was the one who discouraged me from going to the hospital. And the time I got my hand caught in the car door, she was right there. As the investigation deepened, Detective Reed found evidence that Ava had been poisoning me with blood thinners in the smoothies she made for me. She also found text messages between Ava and the bakery, where Ava specifically ordered a wooden dowel to be placed in the cake. Ava had a motive. She knew that if I was declared mentally incompetent because of the head injury, the power of attorney for the lakefront property would transfer to our parents, who would do whatever she said. She had even drafted a petition for temporary guardianship of me, claiming that I had severe cognitive decline. The family lawyer, Mr. Hayes, was reluctant at first, But with the mounting evidence of the assault and possible poisoning, he cooperated with the investigation. He revealed that Grandma's trust had a clause that if the primary trustee, me, was incapacitated for over 90 days, the power would go to the secondary trustee, which was Ava. I also had a job as a financial auditor. 2 months ago, my father mentioned that his retirement account seemed off. I told him I would look into it once I graduated. I now realized that Ava was stealing from my father's accounts, and she was trying to stop me from finding out. Detective Reed came up with a plan. She had my lawyer call Ava, telling her that I was confused and ready to sign the power of attorney papers. Ava, thinking she had won, showed up at our parents' house for a so-called reconciliation dinner. We were in my father's study. Ava sat behind the desk, acting like the boss, and slid the papers towards me. She tried to convince me that selling the property was the only way to save the family. But I was ready. I asked her about the strange accidents and the state of my father's accounts. At first, she tried to brush it off, calling me dramatic and clumsy. But as I pressed her, her arrogance got the better of her. She admitted that she needed me out of the way so she could sign the deal for the lakefront property and pay back the money she had stolen from my father. She even threatened me, saying the next accident would be worse. Just then, Detective Reed kicked in the door, along with 2 uniformed officers. They had heard everything through the wire I was wearing. Ava tried to deny it all, but it was too late. The truth was out. My mother, who had always coddled Ava, was in shock. My father, finally seeing the monster he had raised, was speechless. Ava lashed out at them, blaming them for choosing me over her. In the end, Ava was arrested for aggravated assault, tampering with evidence, and attempted fraud. My father had to sell our family home to pay off the debts Ava had racked up. I moved away to start a new life, far from the toxicity of my family. I used the settlement money to start a support group for those suffering from family abuse. I share my story, hoping to help others find the courage to break the silence and take back their lives. The day Ava smashed my face into that cake was the day I thought my world ended. But it was also the day I found the strength to fight for myself and embrace the truth.